All right, welcome to the Golden Belt Buckle Podcast. You are not going to want to miss this episode. I get tired sometimes of doing, I shouldn't say I get tired of it, but I feel like I'm being repetitive talking about trucking fraud all the time, And, but every time I think that I've hit the bottom of the barrel and there's nothing else to talk about, something else pops up. So let's think about context here. We're going to talk about Mississauga, okay? Actually, this concerns Mississauga and in the United States, the state of Illinois, the connection in this story. My other videos, I talk about the fraud that goes on, the LMIA fraud, the driver Inc. fraud, the cabotage rules being disregarded, right? Trucks with defective trucks being driven down the road that are not safe to drive, drivers being abused and forced to drive double their hours, right? All this nonsense seems to have its home in the GTA, right? The Greater Toronto area in Ontario. All this stuff, everything bad seems to come out, and in this story here, it's no different. So now we have another story about a possible FMCSA sticker fraud coming out of Mississauga. So I'll explain it like this, because the story itself, I actually had to read it a few times to figure out what he was talking about, because it's an investigative story, right? He's laying out evidence. You really had to pay attention to the story. So to boil it down, by way of analogy, if you're a truck driver, you have to do a pre-trip inspection report every 24 hours. You have to do a pre-trip. Well, if you said you did the pre-trip and you filled out the pre-trip, but you never actually popped the hood, checked the oil, checked any of the other fluids, or kicked your tires, or you know what I'm talking about, checked your brakes. Well, you can say you did the report, but it's highly possible you're going to drive down the road with a blown airbag, or maybe some steel rods sticking out of your tires, right? That's what we're talking about. Saying that you did the inspection when you didn't actually do it would, in a sense, be fraud. Well, that's what this is talking about, but on a much larger scale. This has to do with the annual inspection sticker being given out to companies that never actually had any inspection done on their vehicles. At least that's what it seems to be, where the evidence is going in this story. So I'll give you the story now. I'll get my bullet points out here. A guy who owns a shop in the GTA, he had his name is being protected just in case of retribution. He had a steady stream of trucking companies that would come through his shop, and they would get their annual inspection sticker. They would get their inspection, they give him a sticker, and then he noticed that they weren't coming to him anymore. And that in itself is not a sign of fraud, right? You can go anywhere to get your inspection sticker as long as the mechanic is certified to give you that inspection sticker. And so that didn't really make him worried about it at all. And you can even do this in the States, which is where we're going to go with this. You can, if you're from Ontario, you can get your annual inspection sticker in the States. If it's convenient for your company, you can also do that. We have a reciprocity law. We honor American inspections, and they honor ours. That's how it works. So you can get your inspection done in the States, and so none of that was giving him any kind of concern. But what did give him concern was that he started seeing trucks turn up with these. It was ATG Repair, based out of Illinois. We'll get into this a little bit later, but this ATG repair shop, there were stickers showing up with their name on it on trucks in his area that looked like they were damaged. So and it wasn't just that they were brand new stickers. So the truck had just been inspected supposedly, and it had this shiny new sticker. But for example, he shows a picture of a truck that has its side window knocked out of it. It's all duct taped over, right? And then he shows another picture of another truck that had an ATG Repair sticker on it, and clearly the frame of the trailer was ripped apart, right? There's a crack in the frame at the bottom of the trailer. So he's saying that this would not have passed inspection, but why do these pieces of equipment have shiny new stickers on them, right? As if they had passed. And so he hired a private investigator, and this private investigator, he traced some of these trucks to a yard. It was at 2315 Loreland Avenue in Mississauga. And he noticed there's all sorts of different trucking companies that seem to be going to this yard in Mississauga. And the private investigator sat there watching. And he watched as someone came into the yard. They had a bunch of stickers with them. They started peeling off old stickers, putting on these new FMCSA stickers from the States, from this ATG repair shop. and he'd give the driver a pink slip, send the driver on his way. And it sounds like it was like a, like an assembly line, right? He was just peeling the sticker off, putting another one on, sending the driver with a pink slip, saying that it passed inspection. And that just seemed a bit odd because there was no shop here. There was nowhere for this guy to actually do the inspection. So that raised a little bit of red flags, right? And then the inspector, he went on and got a couple VIN numbers off a couple of the trucks that had been given these nice, shiny new stickers. And he checked the VIN numbers with Ontario's DRIVEON, where you get your trucks registered that have had their inspections done. They weren't there. They weren't in the database. So it's like, well, how can they have an inspection sticker saying they passed an annual inspection when they're not even in the database? And then he checked on this 2315 Loreland Avenue place, this yard, said it's not even registered as a place that's allowed to, like, where you would actually get an inspection done at. So on the basis of those two things alone, it made them think to themselves, okay, well, how is it that trucks that are noticeably damaged are getting these stickers, right? And how is it that they're getting them in a yard that's not registered to do those inspections? And how is it that the VIN numbers are not actually recorded in Ontario's DRIVEON? So the point is, they should never, none of these trucks, the way it looks is that they should not have been able to get their renewal. So they sent all of this information to, it was the Ministry of Transportation, and the private investigator said nobody's doing anything about it. And he said that they would just keep sending him from one, here, call this person, call that person, call this person. So it's like when they tried to get some coordination going behind actually looking at this evidence to investigate this possible fraud further, they just kept getting handed off to different agencies, right? Call these guys, call that guy. And so, yeah, that's where it stands right now. It looks like it could be another story that's about to break, go really big. Hats off to Trucker News and this, I had up here, this Menzies fella. He did a good job writing on it. So James Menzies. So this was just, this story just came out. And anyways, that's what I got right there. This will probably be another big scam that's about to have the lid blown off of it. And yeah, if you like what you're seeing, do me a favor, like and subscribe. Check out some of my other videos. I am going down, my regular watchers, I am going back down to just one video a week. I just had some extra time today and I found this story was worth talking about. But I'm going back down to one video a week. My schedule is just too busy to be pumping out videos every day. So anyway, y'all take care. Cheers. Keep the rubber side down.